for making a lot of noise, but you got to start breathing.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. You may be seated. I'd like to welcome you to the America the Beautiful Quarters launch. My name is Bill Taylor. I'm Chief Meteorologist for KENS 5 Television here in San Antonio, and it truly is an honor to be a part of such a special morning in our beautiful city, celebrating the rich history of the San Antonio missions and telling the world that today you get to put history in your pocket. That's why I'm so glad to see so many young students here with us to be a part of this, because, and there's even more come in this morning, they might not truly grasp what's happening today, but there will be a day, and I'm speaking to you directly, when you're a grandfather, you're a grandmother, you have grandchildren, and you get change at a ballpark or at the local HEB, and you see this quarter, and you get to tell a child or a grandchild that you were there the day this quarter was launched. Because this quarter is significant. This is the first time, by the way, that the United States Mint has been in San Antonio for this ceremony. The Texas Commemorative Quarter was launched in Austin, as you'd expect, in state capitals across our beautiful America. But today we celebrate the San Antonio Missions National Historic Park and forever preserve its great, rich history. I want to say a big thank you to the presentation of colors that was so well done. Please welcome the Granaderos y Damas de Galvez. This nonprofit group has a mission in educating the public about Spanish participation in the American Revolution. We also like to thank the Lackland Air Force Base Homeschool Group for leading us in this morning's Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Our music today, brought to us by Agarita. Agarita is striving to bring together the arts through collaboration and free, accessible concerts for all of San Antonio. They sound great. We're going to hear some more great sound from Agarita coming up, but first I'd like to introduce to you our special guests who are joining me here on stage. From my left and your right, the United States Mint Acting Deputy Director, Patrick Hernandez. Superintendent of the San Antonio Missions National Historic Park, Marty Arce. Representing the 35th District of the great state of Texas, please welcome Congressman Lloyd Doggett. Representing the Archdiocese please welcome Archbishop Gustavo Garcia Sr. And our host, the president of Trinity University, Dr. Danny Anderson. And Danny, we want to thank you for allowing us time in the amazing Loring Auditorium. It is just absolutely beautiful. And right now, we'd like to hear from our special guests. And we'll begin with the president of Trinity University, who's leading this beautiful campus. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Danny Anderson.
So welcome to Trinity University. Founded in 1869, Trinity is celebrating its 150th anniversary year right now, and we're proud to have you with us. The Trinity, we've had multiple homes, but this is our permanent campus. San Antonio is a place where we've set down permanent roots, and in the mid-century, the Texas architect O'Neill Ford designed this campus, designed this space where we are, to become an oasis of academic inquiry and bustling student life. In 2018, the National Park Service designated the Trinity campus as a National Historic District, and the university is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. This auditorium is one of those mid-century modern masterpieces that is included in that historic district. For 150 years, Trinity has empowered students to find purpose for life. Our alumni go out and make a real difference in the world. If you haven't had a chance yet, we invite you to explore our campus. Take a respite by our fountain, listen to the birds in the chapel garden. Come back to visit if you don't have time to linger at the ceremony today. Our university is beauty in the heart of the city. And as the commemorative quarters remind us, America is beautiful. And Trinity campus is a tiny slice of that beauty. Enjoy this historic morning, honoring our beautiful city and its history. Welcome to Trinity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anderson. Please now welcome U.S. Congressman Lloyd Doggett.
I've never seen you on TV, and I keep hoping that we'll have weather other than hotter and hotter. But at least this morning we have a different kind of change we can all believe in. It is wonderful to be here on your campus, Dr. Anderson, as I mentioned, on the second row here, a proud member of my staff and a recent graduate of Trinity. Brendan Kennedy, who's done so well, and I'm pleased to see on the front row my colleague from the City Council who represents the missions, Councilmember Rebecca Villagrán. Thank you for your service and your advocacy for the missions. All of us in this community have always carried our missions in our heart. But today we do have a chance to carry the missions in our pocket. We know that San Antonio is a world-class city, an international destination, and I have a feeling that in the not-too-distant future, not only in coin collections, but in the pockets of visitors from all over the world, they'll be carrying the jingle-jangle of the mission coins. This whole concept that the Mint has of beautiful America and honoring treasures like this across our 50 states is really great. From the Alamo down to Mission Espada, our history does run right along the river as our city's lifeblood. I'm very pleased to have a congressional district that actually includes 4 of the missions, and was pleased to work with our superintendent on the 9-year effort to get the UNESCO World Heritage Site designation. Ever since Paul Ringenbach did some of the initial work, and Father David from the Archdiocese to work so hard on this, along with Susan Snow and Suzanne Dixon, Shannon Miller with the city, and Suzanne Scott with Sarah, we've been able to bring together a community coalition to get special recognition for our missions, and this really adds to that. Last year at the Tricentennial, I was able to get a postmark relevant to this, but I've been trying for a long time to get a series of stamps. Fortunately, the Mint works faster than the Stamp Advisory Committee of the Postal Service. They tell me that they're just around the corner, so I hope we can join you next year in the not too distant future with this. In the history of the bell towers, the vast prickly pear lined trails to walk the same paths that residents, Native Americans walked centuries ago. In the fresco lined chapels, the missions represent not just San Antonio and Texas, but they're a vital part of the message that we tell from here in San Antonio about the new world and what it added to the whole world. These missions' history did not end in the late 1700s. They are not solely what the world thinks of in this Alamo City, of the pride, remember the Alamo, but much as we've learned from the interpretation at the Missions National Park, much, much more. We see continued investments across the South Side. Rebecca and I work with, I just left folks with South Side First and the work at Brooks. We're equipping our neighbors for the future and learning from the past. I hope as we and the whole country hold these little pieces of history in our hands, that we remember that our strength comes from being a multicultural, multilingual community and having attracted to this community the best and brightest from all over the world. In paving some new paths for our remarkable history, we're stronger when we remember the rights we all hold, the peace we enjoy, all of this being hard won on battlefields, in protest marches, and at the ballot box, and that we never surrender the democratic freedoms and never let others divide us against one another. Today, we have embraced the mission to make remembrance of our history a very tangible reality in our pockets. And that's a reality for all 50 states. Let's celebrate this spotlight on our missions and our Alamo City. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Congressman Doggett. The San Antonio Missions National Historic Park is made up of 4 missions: Mission Concepcion, Mission San Jose, Mission San Juan, and Mission Espada. The churches at each of these missions are still active parishes, but more than that, they are strong communities. One of San Antonio's most valued strengths is that unity that is shared by those who live here, and the missions are truly an example of that. Please now welcome to the podium, from the Archdiocese of San Antonio, the Archbishop, Gustavo Garcia.
I join with our civic leaders and Catholics across the Archdiocese in celebrating with the United States Mint and the National Park Service the official launch of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, honoring the San Antonio Missions National Historical Park. It is a wonderful recognition of the cultural and historical treasures the missions are, not only to the city, but to the world. The missions have helped to shape the face of San Antonio. There is still a haven of culture and history. We especially value that they continue as active parishes of the Archdiocese, where hundreds of families on the city's south side continue to gather for prayer within the original walls, which many dedicated persons have worked to preserve over the years. The Archdiocese of San Antonio, all Spanish missions, which include, as we heard, Mission Concepcion, Mission San Jose, Mission Espada, and Mission San Juan, are a living witness to the rich heritage left by the Spanish Franciscans and the natives of the land, who worked among the people, building communities, and they were the ones who built these missions in the 18th century. Now, San Antonio enjoys the fruits of this legacy. We enjoy the fruits of this legacy. We are a multicultural city where, enriched by our diversity, we live together in peace and harmony. Small beginnings can lead to greatness, and we are the beneficiaries of this proud heritage. When Father Antonio de San Buenaventura y Olivares founded Mission San Antonio de Valero, he had no idea what the future held for the mission. Nor did Father Antonio Margil de Jesus, who founded Mission San Jose in 1720, at a distant outpost of the Spanish civilization. And later, the other three missions were built. There were many adversities, poverty, epidemics, raids by marauding tribes and political problems. Still, these Franciscans, missionaries, preserved, and today the four still active mission churches are vibrant faith communities, and all five were proclaimed a United Nations World Heritage Site in 2015. These people have left us precious treasures, not only in their stonework and architecture, but in handing down to us a spirit of community, faith, and prayer. We look forward to continuing to work with Catholics and non-Catholics alike to preserve the posterity San Antonio missions as a symbol of the rich faith and cultural diversity. It is my prayer that those who travel to visit the missions from around the world are inspired by them. I am extremely grateful to the National Park Service for our long partnership and collaboration in enhancing and protecting these beloved missions. And I am very thankful to the U.S. Mint for issuing these quotas, which will further tell the wonderful story of the missions to even more people. Thank you.
So beautifully put. Remember, this gorgeous city of San Antonio is now 300 years old. She looks good, right? I mean, not a day over 202, right? She looks fantastic. She does. You know, for more than 100 years, the National Park Service has been entrusted with preserving the natural and the cultural resources of our great nation. Since 1978, the National Park Service and the Archdiocese have worked together cooperatively to preserve our beautiful San Antonio missions. Next, our Superintendent of the San Antonio Missions National Historical Park, please welcome Marty Arce.
Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate you helping us today. I don't think anybody has thanked Bill. We've been thanking a lot of people. Good morning, everyone. We're so glad to see so many people here. Thank you to, of course, Congressman Doggett, Mr. Hernandez from the Mint. We'll be hearing from him in a moment. Archbishop Gustavo. We always get to do fun things together. And a special thank you to President Anderson and all the folks here at Trinity University for welcoming us into this beautiful place. We have other people of note in the audience this morning that I would like to recognize. Representing Senator John Cornyn is Henry Povera and Jonathan Hume. And from the office of Senator Ted Cruz is Javier Salinas. Our national park is uniquely situated in 3 congressional districts. So along with getting to have Mr. Doggett with us, from the office of Congressman Henry Cuellar is Nadia Islam. And representing Congressman Will Hurd is Don Vassar. And then, already been introduced, but we love her. She's always such a good friend to the park. We have District 3 City Councilwoman Rebecca DeBron. We also have many special guests that are good friends to our national park that are here representing Bexar County, Wilson County, the City of San Antonio, the San Antonio River Authority, Visit San Antonio, Las Misiones, and the Conservation Society. And of course, our friends group, Mission Heritage Partners. It takes a lot of friends for us to be able to do what we do at our national park, and we thank all of those folks for joining us on this special day. One last group I'd like to acknowledge is the National Park Service staff that preserve and protect the missions every single day. We had to keep the park open today, so not everybody could come, but we do have a lot of our staff here with us, and I have the privilege of getting to work with these folks every day. So thank you to all of them, as well as our volunteers. You're going to see some people around here today that have on shirts that say they're National Park volunteers. And those folks don't only just help us on special events like this, but they generously donate their time and talent to us all the time, and they help us accomplish our mission. And so we thank our volunteers for helping us today. So, a great day for San Antonio Missions National Historical Park and the state of Texas. This is a beautiful quarter, and I'm proud to be representing the national park that is on this coin. To emphasize the importance of this quarter, which represents the entire state of Texas, Governor Greg Abbott has proclaimed today as Quarter Day in the classroom throughout the entire state. Which is why I'm so pleased to see that we have almost 500 school children here with us today. And if you don't mind, I'm going to talk directly to the kids right now. I used to get to do school programs as part of my job, and I like talking to kids. So that's what I'm going to do. So when you get one of these quarters, I know you're going to be tempted to spend it the next time you're 25 cents short at a soda machine. I know, I have children, the money just disappears. But what I hope you will do is stop and think and recognize that what you have in your pocket is a little history lesson that you will always have. This quarter tells the story of what a Spanish mission is all about. In a few minutes, Mr. Hernandez will talk about the symbolism on the coin design. And that's the story we preserve and tell at the 4 missions that are in San Antonio Missions National Historical Park. Today, at the park, visitors see quiet walls. But 250 years ago, they would have been busy places with the activity of Native American people, artisans, and Franciscans going about the business of the missions. You would hear the clang of metal on metal from the blacksmith shop, the thump-thump-thump of weaving looms as people made cloth for clothing, and the gurgle of water as it flowed through the acequias, or the irrigation canals, to water hundreds of acres of farm fields. Water from the acequias also powered a mill at Mission San Jose to make flour from wheat. And you would have heard the sound of ringing bells from the church towers that set the rhythm of life in the missions. That's really the story we want to tell, life at the missions. And when you look at your San Antonio Missions Quarter, I want you to remember that life at these missions continues because a mission isn't just a bunch of buildings. A mission is a community, and the community of San Antonio endures today. Today, the mission churches are still active churches, and some of the parishioners can trace their ancestry to the original inhabitants of the missions. We are fortunate that in the audience today, we have some of those descendants. If you're a mission descendant, will you please stand up and let everybody know that your history is tied with those missions? I know we've got some mission descendants. You have made yourself a part of the history of San Antonio Missions National Historical Park. So keep that quarter in your pocket. Just like all the other America the Beautiful quarters, it's a mini history lesson. And this lesson is about your hometown. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marty. I would have struggled keeping that quarter in my pocket too, I promise. Because when I was your age, there were arcade games that took quarters. Right? Now you've got the arcade games in your homes, so it's a lot easier. But very good point, because this really is truly a special day and a very special quarter celebrating our beautiful city. You know, as we reflect on the history and on on the lives of the San Antonio missions, we now get to hear a mission-inspired piece from Agarita. Now, they're going to play a piece by the American composer Stephen Hartke, and it's going to represent a day at the missions. I truly believe that music is the language of the soul. So if you truly listen to the instrumentation and the way this piece is composed, you'll be transported to that day, from sunrise to sunset at the missions. The piano is going to play a constant mechanical sound. That will be representing the mission bells. Now the string instruments will also be reacting expressively, playing melodies. That'll represent the people of the mission, the people who make this mission, going about their business and their daily tasks of mission life. You'll also notice the strings' reactiveness to that percussive sound from the piano, all imagining a day at the missions. Please now enjoy Agarita. Ladies and gentlemen, Adelita. Truly brought you to that busy day at the missions and all that it might entail. Now we're going to have the United States Mint Acting Deputy Director, Patrick Hernandez, tell us a little bit more about the America the Beautiful Quarters program and how the San Antonio missions are truly represented. And I understand, Patrick, you're one of our Texas own. Please welcome Patrick Hernandez.
Thanks very much, Bill. Thanks all my distinguished guests I'm up here with today. It's quite an august group that I have to follow, so I'll try and do my best. I'm pleased to see many of you are able to join us for this unique event today. As a proud native Texan who made his first communion at the Presidio Chapel of San Elizario, Texas, it's an honor for me to be here for this particular quarter to dedicate it to the mission of San Antonio. 9 years ago, the U.S. Mint began issuing quarters featuring designs depicting national forests, parks, and other national sites as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program. Each year, we issue 5 new designs on the quarters reverse, and it's pronounced reverse. I found out that it's not a reverse, it's a reverse. Each one honoring a different state or U.S. territory. These quarters connect America through coins to our most treasured places. At each quarter launch, we celebrate our nation's wisdom and foresight in conserving beautiful and historical national sites for all Americans. The San Antonio Missions Quarter is the 49th coin in the America the Beautiful Quarters program and the 4th quarter to be introduced in circulation this year. The San Antonio Missions tell the story of the people who came into the Spanish missions to live in the 1700s. The design of your quarter depicts elements of the Spanish colonial real coin to pay tribute to the missions. Within the quadrants are symbols of the missions. The wheat symbolizes the farming. The arches and the bell symbolize community. The lion represents Spanish cultural heritage. And finally, a symbol of the San Antonio River represents irrigation methods and life-sustaining resources. We are privileged today to have with us the artist who created this inspiring design, Chris Costello, who's sitting right there. Chris, please stand up. Over the past 6 years, Chris has shared with us his artistry through more than a dozen designs on U.S. Mint coins and medals. Thank you, Chris, for contributing your artistic skills to the story of our nation. The San Antonio Mission Quarter serves as a reminder of the importance of diverse people coming together, sharing their skills and heritage to form self-sustaining, multicultural communities. So that's a theme you've been hearing here today. We invite all Americans to come along with us on the journey from national site to national site through the America the Beautiful Quarters program. And also to come along the journey of the San Antonio Missions Quarters as they pass from hand to hand across the country in doing what we like to say, connecting America through coins. Now, for a special presentation, I have with me 2 of these new coins from the first day of production. One is from our facility in Philadelphia, our flagship mint in Philadelphia. Both are circulating coin manufacturing mints. Superintendent Arce, will you please join me at the podium? I am pleased to present these 2 America the Beautiful Quarters from the first day of production to the men and the women of the National Park Service. Thank you for preserving and protecting San Antonio Missions National Historical. Poor Superintendent Arce had to take a picture of me. When people learn I work at the Mint, they jokingly ask for free samples. But today is your lucky day, because everyone here who is age 18 and under is going to receive a brand new quarter, brand new San Antonio quarter from the Philadelphia Mint. You will be amongst the first people in the country to receive a San Antonio Mission quarter. When you get this coin, as Superintendent Arce so pointedly said, you can spend it or you can put it away someplace safe and one day pass it on to someone else along with your story of how you were here today and helped make history. Now it's time to launch the coins. Superintendent Arce and Congressman Doggett, please join me for the traditional coin pour. And on behalf of the men and women of the United States Mint, I congratulate San Antonio on your new quarter.
Now, this coin pour, by the way, is modeled after the grist mill at Mission San Jose. That's a mill built in the 1790s. In fact, it was the only water-powered mill in the area during the Spanish colonial period. It represents the introduction of new technologies, as well as agriculture and irrigation systems. Really something special that we just kind of witnessed, because it is a ceremonial coin pour. And with that, the San Antonio Mission's National Historic Parks Quarter is officially launched. As a weatherman, I could make some quarters pour if I could just get some rain to pour. It'd be special. That would be a ceremony. Now, we would also like to thank all of you for being here for this truly unique event. Our community now has the opportunity to see our beloved San Antonio Missions on a quarter that'll end up in millions of pockets across the United States and the world. But lucky for us, that's out there, and you're in here. So you will not leave here without one of these beautiful quarters. In fact, following this ceremony, you're invited to join our great friends from Frost Bank in the lobby for a coin exchange. $10 rolls of newly minted San Antonio Missions National Historic Park quarters will be available in this exchange, a 1 roll minimum, a 10 roll maximum. It is cash only for the coin exchange. You'll also have an opportunity to meet the coin designer, Chris Costello, who I do want to take a moment. Thank you so much for joining us on KENS 5 television yesterday. He was a special guest on First and Forward. Thank you, Chris. And I have to brag on Chris for a moment, because the next time you choose your font on a document that you're writing, skip all the others and find Papyrus. He designed the font Papyrus. It's his. He was fresh out of college. It was his first big deal. Isn't that cool? Do you know the Times New Roman guy? You know him? But it's really neat to have Chris Costello here to sign your quarter roll, to sign your program. It really is a treat to meet the person who actually designed the beautiful San Antonio Missions Quarter. Now, anyone younger than 18, please remain in your seat. No worries on getting to the exchange, because if you're under 18, stay in your seat and receive a quarter. Compliments of the U.S. Mint. Absolutely. Now, for the coin exchange, I have some instructions. The exits that we will use are directly behind you, doors 3, 4, and 5. Please find one of our VIPs, our volunteers in parks, and they're going to help escort you and make sure you've got the right directions to make it out to the exchange. With that, I bid you farewell. Thank you for joining us for this exciting launch, and San Antonio history. God bless.